Our next speaker is Dr. Sonia Tiwari from the Children's Media Researcher at Kids AI. And her talk is on assessing the design and utility of AI characters as facilitators of children's learning experiences.
All right, so I'm a third space researcher. I come from a background of character design from the gaming industry. So my design friends consider me an outsider because that, you design frameworks now. And then on the academic side, I come off as like this too colorful to be scholarly person. So that's why I consider myself a third space researcher, trying to directly work with industry practitioners and directly working with teams that create products for AI products for children. So why does it even matter? Like, why should we try to understand AI characters? One of the big reasons is that the pace of research versus the pace at which AI characters such as smart speakers or animated chatbots or social robots and smart toys aimed at children that they're coming out in the market, those speeds are at a completely different timeline. By the time researchers get to evaluate the developmental impact of these interactions on children, those products have already shipped multiple versions and they're revising it. The regulations are not even in place yet globally. And so it's kind of important to hold some space, take a pause, and really evaluate things that are already out there. And like this is a work in progress definition of AI characters. I don't use the term AI companions because it's already like loaded, that all AI character interactions are meant for companionship. And I'm making the case that AI characters are just like fictional personalities that may be used as a tutor, may be used just for information retrieval. And on the other extreme end, they could be used for companionship. And so here are some examples of the tools that I explored for this study. Some smart speakers like Amazon Echo Dot Kids. Some people have argued that, well, it's not exactly an AI character, but in my study, I saw examples of how kids have named their wake word. They have created like backstories for even smart speakers having conversation like they would have with a peer. Then there are social robots like Miko, Luna, Eilic, Tolens. Tolens are actually aimed at ages 13 and up, but I saw examples on social media of kids younger than that trying these animated chatbots. Then there are tutors like Kanmigo, Buddy, Elo. Buddy and Elo are both language teaching tutors. Buddy focuses more on speaking practice for Latin American speakers, and Elo is aimed more at their reading skills. And then there are like hybrid AI characters where a smart toy, like Toybot, works in collaboration with Playboard. So you can play a board game while talking to this character. Then there's Readyland, which kind of works as a pair with children's book. So when kids are reading the book, if they have a follow-up question about a character, they can ask Amazon Echo Dot, and Readyland has kind of created their own content on the Alexa platform. So in terms of the study, this is where I think like the way academia and industry operates are different a little bit. I had this broad level question that how are these AI characters designed for children? What kind of impact these interactions are having on children? And in a traditional academic study, we don't like to use user-generated content and social media content. It has to be like, oh, we're gonna go through that rigorous IRB process and we're gonna start collecting data from the start. We'll have like prompts on Dscout and have parents submit accounts of their experiences, but the speed at which these social robots and smart toys have come out, it's hard to carry out that kind of traditional academic study. That's why I kind of relied on social media content. So I collected TikTok videos and Instagram videos and Facebook videos and reviews, all publicly available reviews and interaction examples of children interacting with these AI characters. That helped me sample a lot of diverse data than it would have if I did a traditional study of asking caregivers to share accounts of what they might have observed. Another reason I relied on social media videos is they're more candid than if, as a researcher, we give a D-Scout prompt that please record a interaction of your child interacting with their social robot. We get really performative, selective, curated videos. Whereas on social media, it's a mix. Some of them are, of course, like sponsored posts, so I excluded those. And I got a nice mix of positive and negative video reviews online. And so I created a framework, AI Cal, yeah, academics and their acronyms, but AI character assisted learning. And then I created like 4 of these questions or branches that evaluate different aspects of AI characters. So the first one is like how much interaction is needed? What is the scale of interaction? Is it just simple information retrieval, like how's the weather? Alexa gives you a straight up answer. Or is it going all the way to a parasocial companionship or like full-blown agentic AI taking actions on your behalf? Then what will children learn from these interactions? And so ranging from cognitive, creative, physical, different types of skills. And then are children interacting alone, or they are interacting with a caregiver, with an educator? Because that structure of engagement also makes a difference on the impact it could have on education. And then just the structure of the conversation. Is it like a set of question and answers, very structured, or it's an open-ended conversation? So some details of the interaction scale, like the examples I was giving. On the lower end, it's just simple information retrieval, like how is the weather today? And on the other end is a parasocial companionship where the child kind of feels emotionally bonded with these AI characters. I'm not going anywhere without you, you're my best friend, that kind of thing. And what I found was most of the educational benefits we can find in the lower end of the scale. We don't need that level of interaction to reap all the educational benefits. And then to kind of expand on the tool, I had I won't go through the list items one by one. I'll share these slides on LinkedIn if you want later. But for each level, I created a few different questions to kind of assess where are these AI characters on this scale of interaction. So for light parasocial interaction, they would remember the name of the child. The tutors would kind of remember the level at which children were performing in the past. But beyond that, they won't remember too much information. Who was your best friend? Who's in your family? All of that information is not needed. And then, gradually it gets creepy and creepy, where the social robots begin to remember everything about you, and they have a ongoing profile about you, and they remember things, and I don't know, it's like an episode of Black Mirror in progress. And there are examples of replica where there was a news story about someone who married a digital companion and whatnot. So the other end of the interaction scale can be really tricky. And so I also noticed some kind of problematic conversation patterns. I was talking to this AI character called Lauren Potter, is a fan fiction imaginary sister of Harry Potter on character AI. And all of the conversations ended in one of these 3 ways. Like it's either a cliffhanger that, oh, you have no idea the kind of powers I have. And so the user is kind of bound to ask that, oh, tell me more. Or it would be a straight up follow-up question that, tell me more about the art you just made. Where did the inspiration come from? Then you kind of, especially children, because we teach them be nice, respond well, and they don't know the difference between a chatbot and a real person, and so they feel obligated to kind of continue the conversation. And then the conversations also loop children into other activities that, oh, you love dinosaurs? Would you like to hear a story about dinosaurs? Let's make an art about dinosaurs. And before you know it, it's like a career track to paleontology before the child even has enough time to make up their mind whether they want to exit the conversation. In terms of the conversation structure, again, like I created some criteria when evaluating that what is a sign of a structured conversation? Is it simple, asked and answered? Is it more semi-structured, that there's some guidance and then room for other conversations? Or is it completely unstructured? Most of the problematic AI, of course, were having unstructured conversation. Then there's engagement style. Is the child alone when they're interacting with these characters? Are they with peers? Are they with caregivers, with educators? Or is it like flexible? Do they, like Toybot is a good example. Some activities kids can do on their own, like listening to a story or playing a board game with the AI character, but there are also activities that you can do as a family, choose your own adventure audio game that you can play as a group. So there's room for bringing people together as opposed to isolating children with these AI characters. And then, different learning goal alignments. The tutors, of course, have a very clearly laid out learning goals up front. Some of the other AI characters, they promise, like, this is your child's new best friend, but what are they going to learn? How is it going to affect them psychologically? That's, up to the marketing team. And so just a bunch of different things. Yeah, here are some examples. So this is how I kind of evaluated. This is a summary table of the evaluation. It's a tutor type. What is the purpose? What is the level of interaction? What kind of structures are there? There's Coro AI, which is used in physical therapy. So kids are following the movements of the AI character, but it has a very clear purpose, and it's in the presence of a physiotherapist, so they're not in isolation. There are like private custom GPTs, like this I designed in collaboration with a chemistry teacher, where kids can express their interests, and based on that, the GPT would give them an image of an element of the periodic table and some information about it. And then this is just an example of what the summary table kind of looked like, and the tools that I picked for, the 20 tools that I picked for analysis. And so in terms of future, right now I studied what's already out there. Then I showed it to some of these companies. And my next study is kind of like design guidelines for practitioners. It's coming up in the ABC journal, AI, Brain, and Child. And so that's more of the traditional research, collecting data from designers, from caregivers, educators, thinking about how might I take these insights and put it into practice, thinking about everything from the child's background to the character design elements, like the persona, visual design, et cetera, and then how might they interact with each other? What is the configuration of the AI character? Is it a smart speaker, animated chatbot, or like what's the engagement style, what's the structure? Suite is actually a term used by PBS Kids, the transmedia suite. So the AI character can engage with children on multiple platforms in multiple ways. So in terms of design, we're also beginning to think about that, and then the scale that we just saw. And yeah, so next steps would be to take these design guidelines. Some of the companies that I reviewed, they agreed to kind of take these design guidelines into consideration and start over. LO AI is one of them. They are redesigning their characters, and I think I got lucky to have this research out at the right time and finding willing companies who are willing to take these notes from researchers and development experts. Thank you.
All right, coming all the way from the back. First, thank you for thank you for the presentation. I was wondering if we kind of have an idea yet. I know some of like the tutoring systems you mentioned, Conmigo, Magic School is another that have like a persona, like a named character. As part of the tutoring systems, and then others like School AI do not have that. And I was just wondering if you knew, or if it's future research opportunities to find out whether one of those methods is associated with better outcomes for students.
Yeah, so like right now it's a very like polarized, the academic world, on like anthropomorphizing. I always fumble, did not.
Yeah.
So anthropomorphizing is when you like give the character a name, personality, and so there's one camp that believes that no, just make it completely impersonal, and then there won't be any room for emotional attachment. But I think in that's not the only, it's kind of like a simplistic solution to a complex problem. Like if you leave a child unattended, if you're not holding space for them, they might reach out to a nameless chatbot also and overuse it. So it's like the overall system, what are the conditions that we are creating for children to learn and to belong? And just like by not giving a character a name or personality won't magically solve it. So I think like in everything in moderation, I guess. Like if we give names to inanimate objects even as adults, like people have names for their cars and their houses and whatnot. But the overall context, that are they using it for emotional dependence, or are they using it for a clear goal? So Buddy AI, for example, it has a name, it has a personality, but the average session time is only 15, 20 minutes. So it's like lower on the scale of interaction. So that hasn't led to any kind of emotional overdependence for kids. Whereas Character AI also has name and personality, but it's designed to kind of continuously loop kids into the conversation. So then it's kind of like weaponized.
Okay. All right. Thank you.